Good afternoon. This is Uncle Rick and
Aunt Jennea
reporting on location for Rogers Family News in rural Alabama.
Woohoo!
Today we're checking honeybees. Our first step is we have to smoke the entrance of the hive. It helps to calm the bees down before we start checking the hive. So we check the front entrance and we smoke the back entrance back here. There's a tiny little hole that you see the bees coming in and out of there. That's the back entrance, so we smoke it too. Oh, you're empty. So here is one of our good frames of bees. If you look real close, you'll see it's real shiny in the comb. That's nectar. And if you look up here where my thumb's at, you'll see some of this is capped, that the bees have put wax over it, and it's now honey. The difference between honey and nectar is the moisture content. So nectar has more water in it than honey does. So we have this side with nectar, and we have this side with all honey. So it's ready to take and be harvested. Here's another frame that has all capped honey, and this side, most of it is capped honey. So we'll leave this one. We won't take this from the bees yet. We'll let them finish working on these frames before we take it.
Hear the hum.
Hard at work. So here's where the smoke also helps in calming them, is if you've got all these guys kind of hanging out on the top, you can lightly smoke them and they'll run back home for the most part. They're packing their stuff in case their house is on fire and they've got to leave right away. So all of the bees that work are girl bees. There's only one queen in a hive, typically, and the only male boy bees in the hive are called drones. And if I could get him on my finger, they're bigger. They're fatter little bees. And if you look, that's a drone. Yeah. If you look in the middle of this, so unlike, oh, you ain't want to video that. Keep playing around, Bumblebee. So unlike in the other hive that we were looking at, that we had little things that were capped off and it was honey, these are baby bees that are capped off. So if I move them very gently, those are all baby bees that are now capped off and getting ready to hatch soon.
Uncle Rick, how can you tell the difference between what's capped off honey and what's capped off baby bees?
The capped off baby bees will have a bump. If you look, they're more of bumped, raised cap or raised tops. And it's a different color. The capped off baby bees are darker, where the honey's more of a translucent, opaque color. If you see the green, that's our queen. I had marked her with a thing of paint the other day, and now she's got green on her back so we can keep track of where she's at. You see, she's way longer than all the other bees. She's the only bee that lays eggs in this hive. You have to be very careful handling the hive so you don't squish any bees. If you happen to mash a bee or kill a bee, it gives off a smell that lets all the other bees to know to attack that point. So if that point's your thumb or your hand, it's not fun. So there's male bees and female bees in a honeybee hive. All of the female bees collect the pollen and the nectar and everything that makes honey. They take care of the baby bees. They basically do everything. And the guys don't really do much of anything. They just kind of hang around and eat all summer. But they do get kicked out of the hive when fall and winter comes, when food shortages start to occur and there's nothing blooming. But the interesting thing with the boy bees are they're bigger than the girl bees, but the boy bees don't sting. They don't have a stinger. So if you look in here, they're not a lot bigger, but if you look in here, they're bigger. And the way you can tell a boy bee from a girl bee, and if I can find one, is the boy bee's eyes are really, really close together, where the girl's bee's eyes are not so close together. Right there could be a boy bee, right at my finger. So if you look really close in this whole area where all the baby bees are, you will see that there's a baby bee that got uncapped, that something happened to him. But it's that white little dot in there, and you can see his eyes. He's facing down, or his tail is facing down in the hole, and his head's facing forward. And if you look right above it, you see a baby bee coming out of its shell. It's digging its way or chewing its way out of its cell. So it's being born. And it will take hours for him to chew, for her or him to chew his way out of there. But those are baby bees. If you look through here, there's a few of them in a few spots that are chewing their way out right now. The hardest part of keeping bees is not mashing them when you put the boxes back together. You just have to be really, really careful and apologize for the few bees that will ultimately get smashed when you close them back together. It's impossible to close it up without mashing a bee or two, as sad as that is. This is Uncle Rick and Aunt Jennea signing off from rural Alabama. Back to you, Deb, Liam, and Alana